squirrel with a gun. I mean, that pretty much sums up this game. You're a squirrel with a gun who defeats evil agents, collects golden acorns, and maybe wreaks some havoc on some innocent people. But what if we just didn't use the main weapon in the game and decided never to fire a gun? Well, that is exactly what I'm attempting today, and let me just say that this is without a doubt the hardest challenge I have ever tried to do in a video game. So join me as I ask the question, is it possible to beat Squirrel with the gun without using guns? Now, before we start this challenge, we need to first establish the rules. So obviously firing any gun is not allowed, and that includes grenade launchers and rocket launchers. Throwing guns will be allowed, but for a little extra challenge, I won't be throwing any guns unless it's absolutely necessary. Sometimes the game does automatically make you hold a gun, or sometimes you'll accidentally pick one up, so in that situation, just don't hurt anyone and throw it away. With the rules out of the way, you're probably asking, well, how are we going to be able to defeat our enemies? And to that I say, it's actually fairly easy to defeat enemies without using guns. One option is finding something to throw and clonking them right in the head. You can keep throwing stuff at them until their health bar is depleted, or you can stun them until you can do a takedown. Another way is to wait until an agent does an attack, which makes them vulnerable to being climbed on and neck snapped. Dang. So now it's time to start the challenge in the secret bunker, eyeing our first golden acorn. This part we can get through the same way we would normally, since we don't even have the option to grab a gun yet. That is until we get the golden acorn and the agent comes in and trips. Instead of grabbing the gun, we can pick up this metal plate that we pushed off this button and throw it at the agent for a swift takedown. And this metal plate is actually going to help us a lot through this bunker, as we can see by throwing it at this door to open it. Through this door, there are two agents. We can grab these bombs over here and explode the agents with no problem at all. We're going to want to pick up all the acorns that they drop, as well as any acorns we come across along our journey, because you need at least 1200 to beat the game. Past this door, we do some easy jumps and then walk across this walkway to grab our second golden acorn. Just like regular acorns, we're also going to need quite a few golden acorns, with 40 being the number that we need to beat the game. After throwing the metal plate at some buttons, we encounter our first real challenge. Here we have to throw the plate onto this platform so that we can climb up the pole, get another golden acorn, and re-grab the plate. But now we're faced with a large gap that you're supposed to double jump with a gun to get past. The good thing is that we brought that metal plate, and the reason for that is because when you jump and throw the plate, it gives you a little height boost. It's pretty difficult to make it from all the way back here, and there's more of a chance to throw the plate too far and make it fall into the lava, which isn't good because we still need that plate. Thankfully, we don't have to do that, because it's much easier to charge the throw on the plate only a little bit and get the height that we need to make it up with the plate safely on the ground. All we have to do from there is get another height boost from the plate to get onto the sledge down here. It's somewhat precise, but not too difficult. By doing this, our metal plate does go into the lava, but luckily for us, we don't need it anymore. With nothing to throw at these agents, we just have to dodge their attacks and neck snap them one by one. After that, it's smooth sailing, because this part is designed to be done without a gun, unless you're trying to get the golden acorn over there, which is sadly only possible by using the submachine gun. Now that we're out of the secret bunker, it's time to collect any golden acorns that we possibly can, because we need 12 to gain access to the car. Our first target is a spicy house, which has 3 golden acorns that we can obtain. The first one is on this bed, and the second one needs 7 buttons to be hit with whatever is around. I didn't have enough stuff to throw at it, so I quickly took a swim in the lava, which resets the objects but not the buttons. After that, I hit the last buttons and climbed up here to get the golden acorn. The last golden acorn has us jumping on umbrellas and some roof parts sticking out of the side of the house that fall down, which is pretty weird and is probably a violation of health and safety laws. At the cookout party, we can blow up this red fence and grab a golden acorn with another one here on the roof. We can give this cake to this sad birthday man to get the sparkler party hat, which doesn't seem useful at all, but it is. With this hat, we can actually ignite the golden gas tank to get us a golden acorn, and if we serve the party guests meat, then we get another one. In the fence block, we go under this porta potty to get the bomb suit so that we're immune to explosions. Then we blow up this sovereign citizen and go into his house to get 2 golden acorns, with the third one being too high to reach without a gun. Now we have enough to get the car and get exploded by a tank. Hooray! Before going after Father, we obtained 3 more easy golden acorns, which brings our total up to 16, bringing us closer to the required 40. Going down here takes us into Father's bunker. It's not too difficult to ram our car into all of these agents to give us a golden acorn on top of the one that we get for jumping over this gap. Blasting through these doors gets us to the first boss, Father, which is our hardest challenge yet. For this battle, we have to ram into the lit up wheels on the tank while dodging gunfire and missiles. It's certainly easier if you jump to hit the wheels, because if you don't, you just might go under the tank and maybe get shot. Thankfully, you can collect some acorns to heal by slamming into these barricades. The 2 hardest wheels to hit are the ones that are slightly elevated. You have to make a very precise, perfectly timed jump to get the right height to hit the light. After all the lights are out, you have just 40 seconds to ram into all of these diamond-shaped lights that are under the tank. This doesn't look that difficult, but trust me, it is. Every go-around also takes quite a while, so there's a good chance that you're not going to knock them all out in time, so you have to destroy the lights all over again to gain another 40 seconds worth of attempts. Once we do this, we move on to the next phase where the top of the tank loses their shield. We can now bait the gunner to swing his gun, which destroys the hatch that Father is hiding in. Now all there is to do is grab explosives from the back of the tank, throw a few down the hatch, and say goodbye to Father. This boss is challenging and took me a little over an hour and a half to complete, but it's most definitely possible. We're back in the familiar world and we can grab up 8 golden acorns, with 4 of them being in the matrimonious place. We get 1 by dancing, 1 by putting weights onto pressure plates, 1 by throwing a basketball into the hoop 3 times, and the last one by getting this lazy drunk bachelor to his own wedding. This marriage isn't gonna last more than 10 minutes. In the yeehaw zone, we can throw this golden crash register at some vermin. Then we jump on some cacti to get the golden acorn on the roof. We can throw something at this ugly sign to get another one, and then another one after we prick ourselves on this huge cactus. The last golden acorn we get is in the tough streets, and all we have to do is climb up this tree. Simple and easy. Now we can unlock the jet skis and go down the waterway, where we have to run across the edge and dodge the agents shooting at us. Now it'd be crazy to try and destroy all 6 of these targets, but to make it a little bit easier, we can pick up a brick or something powerful that we can throw just at the first target so that we're a little bit closer to the end. After sliding down this water slide, Mother comes leaping out of the pool, kicking us in the head. Then we're met with many agents, who we can completely ignore. So in this area, there are 2 things that we have to accomplish. The first is slamming on all 5 of these huge buttons from a great height, and the other is acquiring the remaining 14 golden acorns we need. So first, I'll start off with how to press all of the buttons. The first one we're going to want to hit is the one in the water hole. The reason for this isn't so much as for the button, but rather so that we can get the diving suit, which lets us freely descend and rise in the water without holding and releasing weights. The diving suit will help us out a lot to hit the other buttons and collect the golden acorn, so it makes sense to get it first. The button down here is easy but tedious to hit, with us constantly throwing items at the gold to drop the anchor onto the button. After that, I used this purple helium that was in the water hole to raise these purple inflatables so that I could then jump off with enough height to be able to hit the button. Next, I grabbed onto this rocket to get up to this umbrella to jump onto the button, and yes, I know that I could have just climbed this tree, but come on, the rocket's so much cooler and faster. The 4th button I hit is the one where you need to drop 3 weights onto pressure plates to drain the water so that you can dive off the diving board and hit the button. For the last button, all we need to do is to press this small button, blow up some inflatables, jump up to the walkway, jump off, and now we've hit all 5 buttons. As for the golden acorns, they're all pretty easy, with the only one of note being this one where we throw bombs at the agents instead of using the rocket launcher. For most of the acorns, we just fly to them using the rockets from the rocket launcher agents, which is just as easy, if not easier than regular. So now we have the 40 golden acorns that we need to unlock the drone and fly up into Mother's tower. After getting through all of that with little challenge, I was feeling pretty good, but Mother's tower definitely ramps up the difficulty. So the tower has 3 sections. The first section is certainly the easiest one, with only a few agents who have guns. Since there's nothing to throw but icky guns, our best bet is to dodge their attacks and neck snap them one by one. For the people with guns, you could go close to them so that they try to smack you with their gun, or you could just press F to knock them down and then go close to them so that instead of picking their gun, they whiff an attack. Section 2 is without a doubt the hardest section because there are many different platforms with 2 to 3 agents on each one. Most of the agents have guns, which means that you're getting shot from everywhere around you. This is also the worst place to get knocked off. In the first section, it was harder to get knocked off the platform because it was so big. The only real way to fall off is if you get leg sweeped, which sends you flying. In the second section, even just getting shot could send you all the way down, with your only hope being to fall onto the starting area. It's hard to complete this, but if you just go from platform to platform and be careful, you can do it. Section 3 is easier than the last one because there's only 2 platforms and the agents can't reach you from the other side. These rocket launcher guys are tough and need 2 neck snaps or takedowns to defeat. The best option I found was to throw the rocket casing at them repeatedly until their health is gone, or when they ragdoll on the floor to just push them off the edge, which I think is really funny. Now that we're done with that, we move on to the final boss of the game, Mother, and let me tell you that this is the hardest boss battle I have ever attempted in a video game. So for this boss fight, we're forced to throw guns at the agents and helicopter because, well, that's all there is to throw here. I really thought that if we grabbed onto a missile and threw it back at the helicopter, it would do damage, but instead it does nothing. Which is even stranger when you consider that the final cutscene does have you throwing a missile at the helicopter. Would have been funny if the missile just did nothing like in the actual fight. The best guns to use are the SMGs and grenade launchers. The SMG is good because it's the most accurate and flies the fastest and farthest. But the grenade launcher is the most powerful, so both guns are good, but I just personally prefer the power. The best strategy I found for phase 1 is to stand a little bit back like this and then throw the gun you're holding at an agent and to quickly pick up another gun to throw it at the agent again. This is the fastest way to do it, and it'd be all fine and dandy if it wasn't for these stupid grenade launcher agents dropping bombs on your head. These grenades are a nightmare to dodge and they do massive damage. After all the agents are gone, you have to stun the helicopter by hitting the green lights on the sides and then the helicopter itself. Something that I didn't mention is that the helicopter shoots bullets and missiles at you, which is pretty easy to dodge. The problem is that you have to dodge it before you can get another attempt at hitting the agents, and it's easy to lose focus and mess up. It's easy to dodge it the first time, but as you get more fatigued by the 30th time, it's not so easy. But with enough perseverance, you can succeed and move on to the next phase, which is absolutely dreadful. In this one, the helicopter stays far away, and I wouldn't recommend going on the walkway to get closer because you might get shot and might fall into the lava. The only time you should walk on the walkway is if the helicopter is in this position, so that even if you get shot, you're not dead. This is also where you can hit the light to stun the helicopter. If you manage to do that on both sides, then you still need to throw the gun straight at the helicopter to fully stun it. The only time you can hit the helicopter is when it crosses over like this. The only problem is that it doesn't do that very frequently, and when it does, you have just a small window of time to hit it. It's time consuming, but eventually you can do it and move on to phase 3, which is really easy. All you have to do is grab a gun and throw it at the top of the blades about a half a dozen times, and the helicopter can sink in the lava and blown up with a missile to end Mother and Father's reign and life. This battle is about endurance, patience, and precision, but it's doable. This brings us to the answer to our question. That answer being that it is possible to beat Squirrel with a gun without using guns. This challenge was really fun to do, and I think that you should try it out for yourself. Just don't try the final boss. That was super painful. Well, thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna shoot this guy in the face. Nice.